Here I am this morning watching Gerald Peters. You got to check this guy out. Really worth the time. So I hope you're having a fantastic beginning of your weekend. I slept in a couple hours, sure felt good. We're about to take the dogs for a walk. Yesterday was profitable. It was productive as well. I've been making some short-term goals, heading towards some long-term goals. One of the things in my business that I needed to do that I've been guilty in the past of not doing is whenever one of my places becomes vacant, using that and making that a #1 priority. This week I turned down some work. I got a construction company. We do work for people, not on my properties. So then we have money coming in. I got rents that come in, and so that helps pay bills as well. Thing about it is that when I'm working on somebody else's property, I'm not working on mine. All right. Got a mortgage on a property that I'd paid cash for. I've got the funds, and so at this point what I'm doing is I'm getting my properties up and going. I've got two that have been sitting for a long time that were fixer-uppers that I bought. They were a great deal. I'll go into a whole nother video having to do with the mindset on that. It's been extremely eye-opening. I worked with a coach. I know a lot of people sit there and say, oh man, I can do this on my own and everything like that. And you know what? You can. It's quite possible. It's always possible. The thing about it though is that if you work with someone that's in a position where you want to get to, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. That person can show you how to make that happen in your life. You'll get there a whole lot quicker. And so and I'll just give you an example. Right now, if you start a business, and we'll just say that you're making $500 a week. However, if you started with a coach and they got you to a position, in 2 weeks that you're making $2,500 a week instead of having to go $500 a week and then maybe $700 a week and then maybe $900 a week. And then before you know it, 6 months later, you're making $1,500 a week. Well, guess what? Instead of taking all that time, you just went boom, basically overnight and started making that cheese and everything. So don't discount finding a coach and using them. The thing about it is that unless you take a lot of information from the outside, YouTube, social media, reading books, doing all that kind of stuff and everything like that, or you get an epiphany from God where he just puts the idea in your head and you, whoa, let me try that and everything like that. And in my life, that hasn't happened very often, okay? It has occurred, but not often. And so then the thing becomes is that you're trying to manufacture something, and I understand the creative process, okay? I was very bullheaded and adverse to spending money on getting a coach or mentor, whatever you want to call them, for a long time. But then I saw other people that did that, and man, I watched them jump exponentially and go way past me, and I was like, what's going on? And they started saying, well, I got this guy that I'm working with, he's in a position where I want to be with. He's got 300 rental properties. He's kind of showing me what he did and everything. He's giving me some pointers. I've gotten some information from him. He's holding me accountable. I'm becoming more organized. The list goes on and on and on. Okay, so the thing about it is that it might not be a bad thing. Enough of that, all right? Again, here I am this morning. I'm watching some Gerald Peters and trying to get my mindset right for the day as far as figuring out what it is that I'm doing, who's got my money, all right? First thing that's going to happen, going to meet one of my people over at the duplex that I got that's been infested with bugs tremendously. I'll include a video. It's just absolutely disgusting. But the bugs are on the way out. I went in there yesterday and they seem to have moved on some. So that's a good thing. Stay tuned. We got a lot more coming for today. Okay. So we talked a little bit about it and everything, and question or what comes to me this week is, and it seems to be an underlying roadblock with a lot of people, right to be rich. It's okay. If you're willing to put out the work You're entitled to it. It will come. Trust me. But I guarantee you this, it ain't coming overnight. And just because you do great one time, you hit a good lick, you make I see people all the time, man, I made, $4,000 today doing junk removal and everything like that. That's great. Put that money to the side. Take some, invest it for long term that you're not going to mess with 10, 15, 20 years, whatever. Here's the thing. When it is going good, everything's clicking in your way, push hard. Don't get lazy. 9 times out of 10, that's what happens with people is things start going good. That momentum starts happening. It starts rolling and everything like that. And then they get lazy. Most important time is when everything's coming, push hard. Push even harder. Okay? Because bad times will come. You're going to have those days where the phone's going to not ring. And you better have some reserves saved up because you're going to have to fade sometimes. Something's going to happen. I don't know what it is. Dump trailer's going to break. Renters are going to trash the place. You're going to have a dip in the market. Bitcoin will boom, tank, whatever it is. You're going to have some problems. Be prepared. Okay? But you do have the right to be rich. Everybody does. If you're in this country, you were born poor. But if you die poor, it's your fault. Ain't no other way to explain it or anything of that nature. It's your fault. I saw something today. The majority of Americans 40 to 49 years old have $120,000 working for them for retirement. That's 2 years at a better than average, less than high grade nursing home. How good of a lifestyle would you be able to live on $60,000 a year? Now, before you answer that, okay, and if you're working right now, please remember, there's 40 hours of a week. I think it's 168 hours in a week, okay? So 25% of your hours are spent in somebody else's capacity where, generally speaking, you're not going to be spending money. So that's huge right there. Then you sleep 25%. So if you're working right now, half the time that you're on this earth, you're not spending money. As soon as you retire, guess what? That increases. You retire, everything you got to spend money on. So, again, you have the right to be rich. What I want for you is that when you wake up in the morning, that you say, what is it that I want to do? What do I want 2 weeks in the Maldives at one of those places that's over the water and everything? You got room service and everything. It's $10,000 a week. Plane tickets, everything's $10,000 a week. Or do I want a Circle K hot dog? Do I want to go to, Chop House in New Orleans and get a great steak and everything like that? 2 people, you'll be looking at about $150, $200 with the tip. It's a phenomenal restaurant. If you're ever there, go. Trust me on that, all right? The thing that I'm telling you is that with just a few slight adjustments in the way that you do things and how you look at things, okay? Just the same as when I had my store, a lot of people that shopped with me were on government programs, okay? And I saw a whole different side of people that I'd never been experienced to as far as their mindset, all right? In December, they started talking about their tax returns that would be coming in at the end of January, beginning of February. They already had that money spent, okay? And some of these people were getting checks around $8,000 and $9,000. Within 90 days, it was gone, and they were in the exact same position that they were in before that money came. Broke and living paycheck to paycheck. Now, if you're okay with that, I don't want you to stop, okay? Hit the stop button right now and whoop, figure out something else to do. All right? This is for people that want to change their life. This is for people that are saying, hey, I know there's something more for me out there, and I want to find out what it is. This is not for the person that wants to continue to live broke and be broke. This way of life is not for everybody. Now, I can assure you of this. There's not a person on earth that you can get to say, you know what, I don't want to have a few $1 million in the bank. It would be absolutely ludicrous, because everything great and good that you would like to do, if you had more money, you're able to amplify that. However, if you get it without earning it, I'm not saying if you get it because you'll get paid it, but earning it, it's a big difference. You look how many people are in the music industry that are broke, sports stars that are broke. So very, very few of those people have a lifestyle that's even within 30% of the money that they were making while they were actively getting paid, okay? You see a lot of these people, old boxers getting back in the ring and everything like that. Do you actually think that they want to get back in there at 50 years old and get beat up? Most of these people have huge entourages, people on the payroll, family that's on the payroll. They're setting people up, and man, that gets expensive quick. It's a way of life. They don't know anything different. Enough about all that. You've got the right to be rich. Okay? You start working hard, the universe is going to recognize it, and it ain't going to happen to start with. It's going to be like, you see that hot chick walking by and you just kind of glance. That's what the universe is going to do to you. You're going to have to walk by a few more times. All right? One day it's going to be like, damn! Okay? It's actually going to acknowledge your existence and reward your persistence and discipline. It ain't happening overnight, folks. You're going to have to pay some dues. You're going to have to work a few Saturdays and Sundays. Oh, no, Robert, I can't do that, man. I work 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, but not my weekends. My weekends are free. Just understand that when that's your mentality, you only get so much. Thing about this is that you don't have to do it forever. All right? Now, the person that has the biggest advantage is the person that starts the earliest. I look back, and there is never been a week since I was 20 years old that I could not have afforded to at least put $25 a week into some type of fund. That would be a huge amount of money right now for me to be able to work with. And then increase it as my pay increased over the years. So just take a look at that. A lot of people, they have a hard time comprehending themselves being rich. Thing about it is that you have the right to be rich. You're entitled to it if you will do the footwork. This does not come overnight. Interesting fact. 13% of the pay of households that make $30,000 or less, guess what it goes to? Lotto! Lottery. $30,000 earners, on average, 13% of their pay goes to the lottery. It's that mentality. I want it overnight. I don't want to have to work for it. I don't want to build anything. I can't tell you how many times I've heard somebody say, you know what? I started with this, I started with a rake, and then before you know it, they got a big trailer, they got 2 mowers, they got a crew and everything, they're pulling down $250,000 a year cutting grass. Cutting grass, go figure, cutting grass, okay? But guess what? They started small and they kept on grinding, I've had so many people, because I always ask questions, I've had so many people say, I'm not the smartest person, but I figured if no one would outwork me, I could do okay. It ain't hard, folks. But you got to put forth some action. It's yours. It's yours for the taking. You walk out your door, close your eyes. Go ahead, close your eyes. There's a pile of money at everybody's sidewalk where it meets the street. It's your job to figure out how to get that money into your pocket. It's like yesterday, I got 3 leads for roofs. I told my boss, I said, hey man, I've called every one of them, I've set appointments. He said, Rob, I don't care about appointments, I care about contracts being signed. Boom! Do you see what I'm talking about? I said, I like it. He said, I do understand though. You're making sure that I know that you're actively working those leads and they're just not going somewhere and then you're getting to them in a few days, and I do appreciate that. So the thing about it is that he's already telling me you need to manifest it to this point. I was right here, but I need to be here. Now, if I'd been a whiny baby, I mean, man, I'm trying and everything like that. Man, you hurt my feelings. Look what I did, you know. I just sold a job that was $90,000 a couple months ago and everything like that. Guess what? After I signed that contract, you know what I did? I made another appointment. I went out and signed another contract, and then I signed another contract. I didn't get lazy and just sit back and say, oh man, I got this big one and everything like that. I'm going to take a couple weeks off and, oh yeah, and no. I kept hustling, kept grinding, kept pounding because that's what it takes. The majority of people that are watching this video are not willing to work like I do. We as humans are lazy by nature. If you read the Bible, it talks about us working 6 days and on the 7th being holy and not working. Wonder what happened? Whoop, we're going to throw that 6th day out. We only working 5. Union says 5 days, 40 hours a week, whatever it is, So, but anywho, figure out who's got your money, how can you get it in this pocket. Be productive, be profitable, and don't forget, you've got the right to be rich. I say you do.